Happy Friday, everyone. Hi, Kiva, Laura, Aaron, Ash, Jose, Clara, Silver. Hello. I am extremely pissed today. On Truth Social, this current piece of shit president posted a video depicting the Obamas as monkeys. Hey, Jeremiah. Hey, Shelby. Hey, Jen. Yep. Made a video about it on TikTok. We'll be posting it here later. But yep. Yeah. I mean, it's not just him. The people that support him. This is a multi-pronged problem. You think this will move Republicans? You know, Jose. Yeah, I saw that too, Aaron. All I have to say to him is good luck on that one. Good luck on that one. Kids have First Amendment rights as well. I would love to see them try. Hey, Missy. Hey, Maureen. I mean, here's the thing. When it comes to moving people away from this administration, I think I think I think every time something happens like what this administration is doing, what Hot Wheels is doing, it chips away. It chips away. When it will be enough is dependent on each person. I agree, Mr. Wallace. I agree. I don't get pissed very often. Yeah, Greg Abbott. Ash. Greg Abbott. They call him Hot Wheels. Good morning, Kia. What happened? Why we pissed? The current administration, the current president, yesterday on his Truth Social posted a video depicting Michelle and Barack Obama as monkeys. That is what we're pissed about today. Yep. Made a video about it on TikTok. Hey, Philip. Yes, Summer. Yes. Yep. Yep. Put it this way. I was so angry that I had to start bleeping my words in the video for fear that it would get taken down for how many times I used language. Usually I just use it once. Who said that? The President of the United States on Truth Social posted a video depicting the Obamas as monkeys. It is a sad scar on America that they aren't silver. It is a sad scar on the society that we aren't. My mouth can't get the words out of my brain, Kia, and I'm not a member of the BIPOC community. Yep. $5 says at least one person comes in and says it was a joke. And that I'm too sensitive over on TikTok. Almost guarantee it. Never said it was surprising, Patrick. Unfortunately, surprising wasn't isn't the problem. This is one of those cases where I am pissed and not surprised at the same time. Because like I said in my video on TikTok, we knew he was like this. We told you he was like this. So why would we be surprised that he did this? Not. I don't think he did this to distract from Epstein files. I don't think he is that smart. I think he is both. But I heard that Jake Long got arrested for defacing property. Hey, Laura. I just... Fortunately, there's no excuse for a lot of what this administration and its supporters are doing. And we know he's like this. This is nothing new. This is nothing new. We know he is like this. But it still pisses me off. It pisses me off that anyone supported this. It pisses me off that anyone would be willing to overlook this. Hey, Angel. I don't think this administration knows what they're doing at all. I think you're giving them too much credit. Just being honest. I don't think this administration has an actual clue what the fuck it's doing. I don't think they do. I think they are being exactly who they are, and it just happens to be doing two things at once. And Poland should be furious with us. Every country should be furious with us. The current president of the United States on his Truth Social page posted a video depicting the Obamas as monkeys. That's what they did. And so you should be, Kia. I don't blame you at all. I'm shaking. I did see the wrestling match last night where the crowd started chanting "fuck ice." Yep. Hey, Rosa. Good morning. Hey, Shawnee. Good morning. Yes, Kiva. What happened? The current president posted on Truth Social a video depicting the Obamas as monkeys. That's what happened. I saw that, Patrick. I saw that. I've said it too, Clara. Totally agree. I just, yeah, I'm just angry at this point. Literally so angry that I cannot think of anything to talk about. Warm up. It warmed up a little bit. Just a little. You like the guy from today's video? Yeah, he was a cool dude. I like him. What do you think Bondi and Patel are fixing to lie about in the press conference? You know, in response to questions about the clip, Caroline Levitt of the White House press secretary called it fake outrage. She added, "This is an internet meme video depicting President Trump as the king of the jungle and Democrats as characters from The Lion King." What the actual fuck? Oh my God. I had a different statement that was going to go on TikTok. But now she knows that the supporters of this administration are that stupid. I don't know. Aaron. See you, D-Deck. Yes, it is, Missy. Yes, it is. This is... There's just no excuse. There's no excuse. And the fact that they're trying to make excuses just makes it that much worse. The current administration, Scott, the current president posted on their Truth Social a video depicting both Michelle and Barack Obama as monkeys. And hi, Scott. You did hear that right, Linda. Unfortunately. You did hear that right. It's not a hack. There's unfortunately a myriad of screenshots and copies of the video. The current administration is trying to, via Caroline Leavitt, has said that this is fake outrage And she added, "This is from an internet meme video depicting President Trump as the king of the jungle and Democrats as characters from The Lion King." So it happened. Scott, wait till you see my video. I'm not sure you've ever seen me as mad as I am during that video. I've been pretty mad on videos before. Now I'm just so mad I can't talk. Same. Again, why do you think I've been silent so much? I mean, you haven't been here, but I haven't talked as much as I usually do. And that's part of the reason why. Oh, I'm ready to end and go live again as sub only if it gets too bad. Good morning, Steffi. Hey, Carrie. Good morning. How are you doing? You're up early. I am extremely upset. If you haven't heard, yesterday, the President of the United States posted a video on Truth Social that depicted Barack and Michelle Obama as monkeys. So yes, I'm extremely pissed. In fact, I'm not sure I've ever been this pissed in my entire life. I'm pissed at this president. I'm pissed at this administration. I'm pissed at the people that support him, knowing what he did. I'm pissed at the people that are trying to justify what he did. I'm pissed. Morning, Orange. Morning, Lori. You're in Brazil and you're shocked. That's the thing. I'm not shocked. But I'm pissed. She already has, Steffi. Trying to say that he just reposted an internet meme about how great Trump is and depicting the Democrats as Lion King characters. And it's fake outrage. What did he do? This president posted on Truth Social a video that depicted Michelle and Barack Obama as monkeys. That's what he did. Yep. Where? Prove it. His Truth Social, Lisa. His own damn social media. Prove it. By the way, hi, Amy. Hi, Panda. Hi, Icy Line. Yes, Daisy, it is crazy. Thomas? Goodbye. Riveting content? Well, just go somewhere else, C8. I don't care about you. You think my headline today really goes overboard telling 77 million people F you? I don't think it goes overboard enough. This president posted on his social media account a video depicting a black former president and his black wife as monkeys on Black History Month. Literally anyone who is not pissed off right now can go the hell away. Who did this? The president.
The president of the United States did this. The president did this. Look, as I said over on the other side, I don't know how many more signals we need. I don't know how many more things we have to look at. This man is not mentally stable. Leaving out the overt, not even dog whistle racism, overt, leave that out just for a second, just for the sake of argument. This is somebody who has the nuclear codes. This man is not stable. This man talks about talks about putting Obama in jail and then makes pictures of him as monkeys. Let's move on from that. He talks about taking Greenland. The man is insane. How many? If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. This man is not stable. This should be a conversation that's being had at the highest levels of our government because the national security demands it. Look at European newspapers. Look at Asian newspapers. Look at what they're saying. They've been talking about this for months. What the fuck is the matter with our mainstream media that they are just treating it as just another day in crazy land? Sorry for screaming.
Don't be sorry at all. And then if Kia wants to say anything, I'll say it, but I just need to say this quick. I'm not going to keep talking about it because it just gets me more mad every time I say it. I'll probably say it. We'll probably end up saying it a lot during it, but if you don't know what happened, please go watch the most recent video I posted. It will tell you what happened. And then come back.
Kia, you can take it away. Just one last comment. This is precisely what the 25th Amendment was designed for. Precisely. These people see him in close quarters every day. If they don't know he's nuts, then they're nuts.
I had to get some coffee first because I was like, have so many feelings right now. First of all, I want to say to all the people that are talking about, I'm not shocked. I'm not surprised. At this point, if you're still shocked and surprised, you really need to wake up and you need to take the blinders off. You need to pay attention. However, if that's your only response right now is I'm not shocked or surprised, you're part of the problem because you should be pissed off. And for people saying, oh, you're just being pulled this way or that. I'm really trying really hard to filter myself. You are part of the problem. And for people trying to tone police you, saying that to however many people is an overreach or whatever, don't tone police. If you don't like it, you don't have to be here. But if you're not pissed the fuck off, and like to the people who sit there and say, well, I don't think he's racist. If you don't look at this now and see what we've known for a long time, you're part of the problem. Get your heads out. We got to wake up, y'all. Like, you should be really fucking pissed off because it doesn't matter if it was him or any other president of the United States. They should not be doing stuff like that.
This is not a distraction, liar. This is who he fucking is. We can talk about two things at the same fucking time.
The issue goes beyond his overt racism, as horrible as that is. It goes beyond that. If you aren't questioning the man's sanity now, I don't know what rock you're living under. This is not a person who is mentally well. And why does that matter? It matters because he has the fate not only of 340 million Americans in his pocket, but the fate of the world. That matters. We cannot gamble like this. This is a gamble. Every day this man is in the Oval Office, it is a gamble with our very lives and with civilization. This goes far beyond, as horrible as it is, his overt racism. No sane person would do that. And look at every action he has taken. Look at every statement he has made. Look at him going to sleep. Look at his physical decline. Look at his speech patterns. This is not a well man.
Why?
It has nothing to do with Democrat, Republican, conservative, liberal. Who gives a fuck?
Why do I
This
have
has to do with the fate of our country.
Why do I
and
have
the
to
world.
yell? The President of the United States posted on his own social media a video of two black Americans, the former president and his wife, as monkeys on Black History Month. And you don't know why I need to yell? What planet are you on? Get the hell out of my channel if you cannot handle that. I'm going to get coffee.
Good morning, Heidi. Yeah, I took a couple days off because I just got sick of TikTok and the news, which is unusual for me to, not follow the news. Kia, I missed this whole goddamn thing. I didn't even hear about it till you sent me the thing.
I hadn't heard about it either, Scott, until when I joined Mike's and he said that he was pissed off, and when I joined and I asked why, and see, I don't think Bex had heard about it, because if she did, she would have said something about it this morning. And when I leave Bex Live, I always go to Steve, and he hadn't covered it yet. When I sent you that screenshot, I still had him pulled up on my phone, and he was covering it and talking about it. That was my first time actually seeing the image. Like, it brought tears to my eyes. Like, I was so angry. Not like I'm sad cry, but that holy shit, I'm so fucking pissed off cry, where you just sit there and the tears just fall. And I was shaking so badly, and it pissed me off. And it even pissed me off because even in the comments, people were sitting there talking about I'm not shocked, I'm not surprised. And if that's your only fucking reply to this, like, you're part of the problem. Like, that shit it made me so angry. I'm like, especially if you're YT, if you're saying I'm not shocked and surprised, like, yes.
Well, go ahead, Kia. Sorry about that goddamn phone.
No, you're okay. I'm having to stop too. Sorry. There's some just animal ruckus I'm trying to clear up this morning. So if I just stop talking and you see me go on mute in the middle of a sentence, that's why.
Kia, a lot of us, when we say we're not surprised, we are people who didn't vote for him because we expected. We've been calling for Congress to get rid of this guy for quite some time and calling for the 25th Amendment. And I think that's what people mean when they say they're not surprised. They expected this because this man is not sane. He's not sane. And I don't say that. I've never said that about another president. Joe Biden was physically diminished. There's no doubt about it. This man is not only greatly physically diminished, he is clearly mentally diminished. There are cognitive issues here in his speech pattern. The warning signs, they're more than just blinking red. It's a sea of red. Yeah, fuck you, Champion MAGA. Get rid of that fucker.
Oh my God. Hey guys. Just a quick thing, and Kia, I don't know if you were part of the conversation yet, over on the tube, but the one thing that I need all my white tea people to hear me is this is a YT problem to stand up against this type of thing. And I mean, I'm having a hard time coming up with comprehensive conversation here. This is not about the Black community being sensitive, not being able to take a joke, being, this is a historical way that he has conducted his life since before any of us ever knew him and who he was. Him and his dad got in trouble in the 1960s, 70s, and 80s for this type of behavior towards the Black community. He has never shown any other way of doing things. But the fact is, as a white woman, those of you who don't think that systemic racism isn't real need to wake up. Get your head out of your ass and look around and be a, and I gotta stop now because I'm just so,
Well
there's so
said.
much anger.
Well said, Clara. But it goes far beyond that. I really want to emphasize this, folks. So I'm going to go back to it. It goes far beyond that. This is indicative.
Whoa. Sorry. Exalt just said systematic racism isn't real. Shut your dumbass mouth and get out of my chat. You do not get to have a say here ever again. You're racist, Mookie. The fuck is wrong with you people?
This goes far beyond racism. It goes far beyond that. We are talking literally a national security issue here. We have a president who is mentally unbalanced. I cannot emphasize this enough. I'm physically shaking. I cannot emphasize the danger we are all in. This is far beyond racism. Leave that out just for a second. This is indicative of a sick mind. Our lives are literally in danger. And you've never heard me talk like this before. All of you know me. This is indicative. We've got to take this issue seriously. Congress took it seriously when we passed the 25th Amendment. This is one of the things that is precisely covered by that. Every action this man has taken shows an unbalanced mind, building grandiose ballrooms, wanting to build an arch a third bigger than the Arc de Triomphe for himself. This is not a normal human being. This is just one more example of it. I get the whole racism angle, Clara. You're 100% correct, and so is Kia. I get it. I get everything that's being said. But this is a national security crisis, and we are blind if we don't see that.
And Scott, I think that's probably partially what you're saying is absolutely correct. At the fact of, one, this is the atrociousness of this, but not only that, the I can't even say what kind of behavior. The unhinged, the 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 behavior, unfit behavior that this is perpetuating within, out to the world. I mean, like I said, I can't even talk. I'll probably just go back over to the tube, but I was just so frustrated and upset, and my fingers couldn't communicate. And um I'll just sit here for a minute, calm down before I go and try.
Well, you saw me on the tube before. I couldn't even type. I and how often do you see me lose my cool and not be analytical? You know, this is the ultimate red flag, folks. I don't know what else to say. I don't care who you voted for. I don't care what your political party is. People's lives are in danger here. Our lives are in danger here. This is the ultimate wake-up call. Europe, Japan, South Korea have been talking about this for months. The president of Slovakia, who is an ally of Donald Trump, met with him in the Oval Office to get a glad hand and be told how great you are for oppressing your people. He went back to the European leaders and said the man is deranged. He's sick. That's what that's what his friend, the president of Slovakia, said. Look it up. How many more warnings do we get before something goes boom? For fuck's sake. Sorry.
Scott, I have a quick question. So I understand in the 25th Amendment, it has to be done by the VP and his cabinet, correct? And then they send it to Congress. Um, is there any way for besides impeachment? Is there any other way for Congress to
No.
push this along?
No, impeachment. The 25th is left to the cabinet. Impeachment is the only, as the Supreme Court constantly reminds us, Congress's only remedy vis-a-vis the Constitution is impeachment and then a trial, conviction by 67 senators. That is it. That's the only game that Congress can play in this. This is where we are, folks. This is where we are. This is scary.
And that's what I thought, but my mind wasn't, because I'm just, the things going through my head, I just couldn't get that to sit right in my head. So thank you.
How do we get our reps and senators to do their duty? You start getting involved in the fucking process. That's how. For hundreds of years now, 80 years at least, this country has not been involved, hasn't taken part in primaries, has barely been involved in election process at all. People have gotten through the primaries without having to run against anybody, without having to do anything, without having to fight. Once you get in office, you're pretty much set. So get out and vote in the primaries. I'm literally exhausting myself to interview people that want change, that aren't taking money, that want to fix the problems that we have. But if only the people that can raise money and take money from corporate interests are the only ones that keep getting through the primaries, then nothing ever is going to frickin' change. The left is following. Kiss my... Oh, go cry about it? Shut up.
It is an indication of how far we have slipped as a country that people are in these comments actually defending what this stupid fuck did. I mean, is there no decency left? No common decency?
No. Yeah, I saw that, Amy. They had to close down this detention center because of measles in Texas.
Alexandra, you asked what had happened. I didn't know either until Kia told me. The President of the United States posted a picture of the former President Obama and his wife as monkeys. Yeah, he did that.
I just
Madara, shut up. Why can't you guys show some humanity for one goddamn second?
Well, Mike, you know you've heard it from me before, and sometimes we've disagreed about this. That's why I say over and over, there's no talking to them. There's no reasoning with them. All we can do is defeat them. We have to crush them. The fate of our country hangs in the balance. I don't want to hear about we have to listen to them. We have to reason with them. Fuck them. Beat them. That's what we have to do. We have to defeat them. Then we can talk about rebuilding the country. First, we have to stop the bleeding. We have to defeat them.
Defeating what? Defeating the people that think like this and support this, no matter what. All because of a damn letter beside their name. That's what we gotta defeat. LOL. What's funny? What's funny to you? Tell me what's funny. I know you can't, but...
and Scott, you know, even when you see, like, I saw something, I was watching a live, and no, I was watching something on TV somewhere, anyways, and they were showing him, I refuse to say his name, speaking like back in the 80s, back in the 90s, and you, like the other, I unfortunately didn't hit mute fast enough, and all I heard was with some words, and I'm like, oh my God, you're absolutely right. And every time I'm like, and this person has control of the codes. This person.
That's what keeps me up at night, Kia. That's what kept me up in the days leading up to the election. And I saw the data, and I knew it was a toss-up. That's what kept me up then. I knew what would happen if this man got in. I knew it. Look, I've lived in his turf my whole life. I know of Donald Trump. I know what type of human being he is. I know personally some of the subcontractors he stiffed and still bankrupted his casinos. He didn't even pay to have them built and still fucked that all up. We elected a village idiot, and now he's a village idiot who is mentally ill. And I feel bad for people who are mentally ill, but I'm sorry, they can't have the nuclear codes to play with.
I die. Hey, Alex. By the way, if you're over on TikTok, please tap that screen. Help get this pushed out. We need more people to see this. We need to have this conversation. This needs to be, as mad as I am, this needs to happen.
And it was like you saying the words pissed me off enough, but just seeing a still shot, not even seeing the video.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there doesn't need to be any kind of fucking context for that. The Obamas have not been in office. Obama has not been in office in 10 fucking years. There's no reason, period. Even if he wasn't the president of the United States, I don't give a fuck if it was Joe Smo off the street. There's no reason to ever have a video with black people faces on the bodies of a monkey. That's insane.
Guy, the president of the United States, on a Truth Social post, posted a video that depicted both of the Obamas as monkeys. That is what happened yesterday.
Look, I've been speaking since the beginning of the national security implications of this, of having a man who is insane as your president and having the use of the nuclear codes. That's bad enough. But this is fundamentally for the rest of our nation who live under him, the rest of our nation, this is fundamentally a moral issue. A moral issue for not only what he has done from day one, but a moral issue, are we going to save ourselves? This goes to the core of who we are as a people. Right to the core.
If you have watched my channel for any amount of time, you know that I have always, to the chagrin of at least one person on this panel at times, always been willing to at least try and understand the perspective, even if I don't agree with what they say, and say that, obviously. There is no perspective here. There is no other perspective here. There is no other perspective. There's no justification. There's no excuse. If you are okay with this in any way, shape, or form, if you attempt to justify this in any way, shape, or form, you are as bad, if not worse, than the person who posted it. And I don't give a fuck if I lose people following me because of it. I don't care if saying something like that makes it so I can't do this for a living. That is a line. That is so far over the line. The line is on the other end of the fucking country.
And this is a continuation of literally a pattern with this man, a pattern. Tearing up our alliances, betraying our allies, launching some bizarre attacks, both financial and military and alliance-wise, with our allies, through those tariffs, through taking Greenland, to pew-pewing fishing boats and capturing a thug, admittedly a thug, but leaving the rest of his administration. Folks, the man is not well, and he has the nuclear codes. I know I'm repeating myself. I'm repeating myself for a reason. This is a vital national security issue. and it has to be taken seriously. And what the hell is the mainstream media doing? What the hell is Congress doing? And what the hell is his cabinet doing? They're not being Americans, I'll tell you that. And this doesn't just deal with 340 million Americans who are in danger, but the world, civilization itself. That is the risk you run when you have an insane person with sole authority to launch nuclear weapons. Sole authority.
And I don't even know if I would call it a distraction. I think this just kind of goes more to the fact of what Scott's been saying. I think it just kind of, I think it's just the hate just being said out loud because he feels like he feels like he knows his supporters back anything. I think it's just his hate coming out. And I think it's like Scott said, the fact that I don't know if he's in full control of his mental faculties. And I think that's just out there. I don't know if there's anything that he can do to distract from JE. Not only JE, but what's happening all over the country with the cubes and all of that.
I said this already. I don't think it's a distraction. I think this is who he is. This is who he's been. This is nothing new.
That's exactly correct, Mike. It is part of a continuing pattern, and that is what is so terrifying. If this was a one-off, that would be one thing. We could say this guy should be removed for being a racist. This goes beyond racism. This goes to a man who is a danger to this country and to the world. I go back to what his ally, the president of Slovakia, said when he got back to Europe and told the European leaders the man is deranged. He's not sane. That was his friend who said that. His ally, his right-wing ally, said the man is deranged. I'm scared. He used those words. Oh, by the pool, I wish it was just the mind of a child. His mind is much worse than that. It is malignant. I wish it was just the mind of a child. I wish so much that was all it was.
I mean, yes, he's always had the mind of a child too. But again, it's more. Look, I feel like every day I come in and I feel like I have to say we're at a crossroads, but if you are someone that supported this man at one point in your life for whatever reason, and you were hemming and hawing about whether you could keep supporting, if this doesn't wake you up and break you out, you are the problem. You are the reason that someone like him, someone like this, people that think like this still exist in the world. They should have been awake a long time ago.
You know, we can debate what they should have done, what they shouldn't have done. I would ask everybody who supports him, you know this is, you've seen this second administration. You've seen the continuing pattern of literally insane behavior, megalomaniac behavior. You know, the ballroom, tearing down the East Wing of the White House should have woken you up. Him wanting to build an arch, the biggest arch in the world, should wake you up. He's a megalomaniac who is mentally ill. So here's what I would ask you people. I don't want to debate anymore whether you should have voted for Trump or Harris. That ship has sailed. I don't even want to debate that. What I want you to do is to be a damn American. It was the Republicans who threw Richard Nixon out, not the Democrats. They went up to the White House and said it's time to go.
And yeah, so Dana, Caroline Leavitt has already publicly said that that it's fake rage, and this was just a meme that talked about how great Trump was and used the Lion King and depicting people as Lion King characters. So they've already defended it.
And the crazy thing about it, y'all, if you haven't seen it, and like I said, I still haven't seen the video, I've just seen a screenshot, you can very clearly tell there's no fucking depiction of the Lion King, even when they did it live action, that you could even remotely try to say, it's kind of like, how there's like the Little Mermaid that's made by Disney, and then there's like another Little Mermaid. You couldn't even say it's that. It's just absolutely fucking disgusting. It is absolutely disgusting. And to know that that man is in control is fucking terrifying, and it's gross, and all the people who are sitting there just
He's been gross for a long time, but now it's terrifying. Exactly, Kia. Now it's terrifying.
So no, go finish. Sorry.
Oh, okay. This is literally yet another. I mean, I don't know how many more red flags we have to see. Whether he's tearing down the East Wing, whether he's talking about making Canada the 51st state, whether he's talking about taking over Panama, whether he's talking about taking over Greenland, whether he says if Canada has a trade deal with China, we're going to impose tariffs on Canada, as if a sovereign nation can't negotiate with another nation. Folks, none of this is sane. None of this is sane.
Dee Dee, go watch the last video I posted. It'll get you up to date on what's going on. I don't want to keep saying it out loud. It's bad enough. I had to say it as many times as I have. For everyone that's on here that's new, just so you know, we go live over on the tube as well as here every single day during the week. I also post a lot of stuff. One of the things that I'm trying to do is get visibility and name recognition to people that are progressive on ballot in places that the Democratic Party especially completely ignores. I'm interviewing tons of people, tons of amazing people that are running for office that want to fix the problems, aren't taking corporate money, want to be held accountable for their choices. Aren't going into this to become to be forever politicians. They chose to do it because they saw a need and were willing to step up and do it. So please go and watch it, even if it's not for your district. Chances are there's a good chance I'm going to be posting someone that you'll be voting for. When I tell you how many people I'm interviewing, there is a very good chance that someone I interview is running in your race. So get involved in the primaries. Please watch and share those videos, even if they're not in your districts, even if they're not in your states, because that's how we give these people visibility to the point where they can actually get the changes that we keep talking about needing. Because if we don't put people into office that want to make changes, then we are going to keep dealing with the same stuff. If we don't put people in office that are willing to be held accountable, we're going to keep dealing with what we're dealing with. The only way to get the changes we want is to put people in place that want those changes. That is how we do it. So please, please, I'm begging you, please help. It's so watching a video. And again, you will also, I've said this before, you will feel hope. You will feel hope. There are some amazing people in this country that want nothing more than to help us all thrive, not just survive.
There was a comment, is this a distraction from the e-files? I understand your point of view, but I have to agree with Kia. It goes far beyond that, folks. It goes far beyond that. I just every single thing he's done points to an unbalanced mind. I don't know how many different ways to put it. Now, I really don't care that he has an unbalanced mind. I do care that a president has an unbalanced mind, because that affects all of us. Because he has a power no other person on earth has. No other leader of a nuclear power has sole launch authority. Our president does. That's terrifying.
I care that no one around him is doing anything about it. They obviously know, whether it's frontal lobe dementia, whether it's something else. I don't really care what it is. What I care about is the fact that no one seems to be stopping it. And there are people around who do have the authority to stop it, and they are doing nothing. Those are the people I'm pointing the finger at blaming. It's them.
Tiffany, that is precisely why he chose the people he did. And shame on the United States Senate, one after another, approving people who were manifestly and obscenely unqualified to hold these positions. The Senate has a constitutional duty to advise and consent, and they did not. And they knew they weren't doing it when they did it. They knew that they were not obeying the Constitution to advise and consent when they passed these cabinet posts. They knew it, one after another, from Hegseth to Tulsi Gabbard to Christy Nome, for Christ's sake, to Robert F. Kennedy Jr., one after another. The list goes on and on.
Yep. All of it. And I saw the True Social post, and it's I can't think of even a word. Like I have so many feelings about it that my mind is struggling to pick words. Forget them being TikTok appropriate or not, just struggling to come up with words to just describe how beyond deplorable and disgusting it is. Like I know there's words beyond that I could use, and my brain just is drawing a blank. It's so vile, so vile.
Emma, go watch the most recent video I posted. It will tell you what's going on. It's just not something I'm willing to say out loud again, unless it's absolutely necessary.
You know, folks, this is yet another reason, as if we needed more. This is yet another reason because Kia always asks me about how's the Senate going? How's the Senate going? We're going to take the House. But the Senate is important, and we're within striking distance. Why is it important? So that this man, over the last 2 years of his term, cannot name any more 30-year-old lunatics to the federal bench. These people, these judges that he picks, are all young, and they are all unqualified, at least at the appellate levels. I'm not speaking about the Supreme Court. We have issues with them that are separate. But they will be on the bench long after he has gone to his great reward. And that is why it is vital that we take the Senate.
And I tell you, there are some amazing people running in states that we keep being told are unreachable and are unflippable. And we may be right, but I think we need to stop saying that things are unflippable, because again, some of these people I just interviewed, that's going to come up probably in a couple weeks, person running for Senate in South Dakota. This guy's amazing. This guy is absolutely amazing. And their senator they're suffering there drastically. And their senator has done nothing for them. Now, is it a guarantee? Obviously, nothing's a guarantee. But South Dakota is considered a flyover state. No one sends any money there. No one sends anything there. We need to stop pretending that anything is a given. Sure, we can understand. No, South Dakota. We can understand that the chances are slim, and that's fine. But
You want to know why it's possible, Mike? Who do you think is the most popular Democratic governor in the country? Do you think it's Newsom? Do you think it's Pritzker? Do you think it's Moore in Maryland? Heavily blue states?
No.
Nope.
Kentucky, right?
It's Kentucky. Andy Beshear. He has a positive rating over 35 points positive in a deep red state. So don't think it's not possible, folks. You pick the right candidate, you've got a shot.
But it's on us to keep talking about it, to keep pushing it, to keep, again, and I know it sounds like I'm just pushing myself. If you go follow their stuff and push it, I'll be just as happy. Yes, I want to keep doing this forever. Yes, I want to be able to make a living off of this, but this is more than just me. This is more than just me. I want a country that my daughter can literally live and thrive in. And I don't see that. I always grew up knowing that my job as a parent was to make this world, this country better than it was when I was growing up, and we failed at that. We failed.
Apparently somebody on the other side, Silver, has a question for me. Can somebody read it?
Yeah, sorry, I had to walk away from my iPad.
Trying to find a question. Don't see a question. Can all appointees get removed? Can all of his appointees get removed?
Yes, but again, the answer to your question is yes, but it's the same as removal for a president or, for that matter, a judge. It's the impeachment process. A majority vote in the House of Representatives, followed by a 2/3 majority in the Senate. Yet another reason to pay attention to the Senate, folks.
Mr. Sticky, I hear what you're saying, but I disagree. I voted blue multiple elections. We all failed. We said things throughout our life like, I don't do politics, or agree to disagree. Or when people said and did some pretty horrible things, we didn't speak up when we should have. We may not have been overt in being part of the problem, but I guarantee every single one of us who looks like me did not do what enough. We didn't do enough.
Look, somebody asked in chat that if the president is removed, does that mean that J.D. Vance becomes president? The answer to that is yes. And I know that I certainly don't like J.D. Vance. I find him repulsive, actually. But here's the thing to remember. J.D. Vance is not clinically insane. We have a president with a tenuous tether on reality. He literally has gone over the edge. He has a tenuous tether on reality. And he has the nuclear codes. As much as I find J.D. Vance odious, I have no reason to believe that he is insane. I cannot say the same about President Trump.
Mr. Sticky, I disagree that we didn't know it was going to get this bad. We literally have been saying it for years. We knew. He tried to overthrow the freaking government. We knew. We ignored.
Just look at his entire first term. It was a goddamn dumpster fire. 1.2 million unalive from a pandemic that he grotesquely mishandled, and then he tried to overthrow the government of the United States. If that isn't a warning, I don't know what is. And in our infinite wisdom, the American people put him right back in. We can debate the stupidity of that later. Right now, we're in a crisis. And we need people to stop acting as Republicans and start acting as Americans. And I'm talking about Congress and his cabinet.
And the people.
And the people.
We need more than 15% of people to come out and vote in primaries. We need more than 60% of people to come out and vote in general elections. We need this to happen.
Dottie says in chat, and I appreciate your comment, he doesn't deserve to be called president. As from your mouth to God's ears, Dottie, but he is the president. We've got to do something about that.
It is not, look, it is not, it's really easy in this country because of the world that we've created, because of society that we created, to feel defensive when people say things that make you feel something. There's a part of you that feels defensive when we say it's our fault. You don't need to. You just need to be better. However better looks to you, be better. If you aren't to the point, if you aren't to the level of this administration and the current president, that doesn't mean you can't be better. We all can be better. We all can be better.
And let's not forget, in his first term, he actually did this, trade Puerto Rico for Greenland because they were dirty and poor. So at least he's an all-out racist. He includes the brown people in that too. The warning signs are there and they're getting worse. I know I'm repeating myself, but really, folks, this is as serious as it gets. We have never had an insane... We've had bad presidents. We've had plenty of bad presidents. We've had plenty of good ones. I don't believe we've ever had a president who was clinically insane. Well, we do now. We cracked that glass ceiling, didn't we?
You are allowed to not. And again, I think there are levels of blame for all of us. I take blame. I didn't vote for this president. I don't take blame at this moment for this specific situation, but I know I could have done more when I was younger. I know I supported things that I shouldn't have when I was younger. I know that I did not do it. I did not live the way I should have. I know choices that I made, whether tiny or large, helped us get to this point. That doesn't make me a bad person. But it's reality. And sometimes you just got to accept reality. I don't sit here and dwell on it, I be different. I do what I can to help fix the problem that, whether overtly or not, I was a part of. I don't know why you have to get defensive when you're told that you were a part of it. I guarantee you were a part of it. I'm sorry. I guarantee you were, because we all were. Especially if you look like me. Especially if you look like me. Because we always could have done better. Because racism still exists. And we didn't actually stop it. So we failed. We didn't convince enough people. We didn't have enough conversations. We didn't get involved enough. I accept it. I don't dwell on it, but it's a reality.
Kia, what do you mean you don't know? Or I missed something there, I think. Something got lost in translation.
When you said you didn't know how any Latino person voted for him.
Oh, yeah, that was an answer to Luis. Luis, very justifiably, is personally, Luis is our friend in chat and also has his own live. Luis has been livid, not only to the president's response in the first term to the horrible hurricane in Puerto Rico. Luis is of Puerto Rican ancestry, but being called dirty and poor by the president of the United States, by his president, the president of the people in Puerto Rico as well, who he called dirty and poor. Think about that, too. The list goes on and on. I mean, but now we're at a crisis because clearly he's gone off the deep end. He's crossed so many lines. It's not just this. It's his actions on the world stage. These are red flags, folks. You don't go around telling Canada, calling the Prime Minister of Canada governor. You don't do that. What type of sane person would do that? I mean, how many more warning signs do we have to have? We're going to take Greenland. We're going to conquer Canada. We're placing tariffs here. Oh, on today, gone tomorrow, increased Thursday, subtracted on Monday. The man is not stable. Can't every single one of you MAGAs see that yourselves? Forget me telling you that. Can't you see that? That's what I don't get.
You know what? I think part of it is we have to accept that for a certain percentage of MAGA, they know exactly what this is going on. They don't care. This just justifies the evil human beings that they are. This president justifies and and gives them the ability to be the vile human beings that they are inside. And I think we need to stop talking to them. They're not fixable. Like, I know we want to fix the whole situation, and I know we want to bring everybody with us, but you know what? Some people aren't going to be able to come on the journey with us. There's nothing we can do about that. You got to leave them behind up and until they can make their own decision to come with us. It's time to focus on the people who, like, this is like the last exit ramp for them. If they voted for the Republican Party because they're Republican and they've always voted Republican, whatever the whole thing is, I don't know. I'm not really a party aligned person, so I don't understand the logic, but those are the people we need to talk to, because I think they're the people who we have the strongest chance of getting them out of this cult.
Well, you obviously missed the speech I gave before.
I probably did.
There is no talking to them. There's only defeating them. We have to defeat them. Then we can begin a conversation, but not until the stain of MAGA is wiped off. Look, we've done it before. We've done it before. We defeated the stain of slavery. We defeated McCarthyism in the 50s. We didn't try and reason with them. We defeated them. And then we talked.
Yep, we got to defeat them. There's no other way. Talking to people in this cult is impossible. And here's the sad part. I've had to come to this realization even in my own province in Canada, because all of that has bled over here. All of that whole mega thing has bled directly into my province and is running my provincial government at this point. And I have to sit here trying to figure out what can I do as a Canadian to get rid of this garbage, short of driving these people to the border and kicking them over. Like, I don't know how to defeat this. I think I've been struggling for a while. It's why you haven't seen me much, because I've been struggling trying to figure out how can we possibly defeat people who are filled with hate. I can't give them love. I don't have that in me because I don't. And I've been struggling with how I go about defeating what should never have been here to begin with.
Go ahead, Rosa.
Thanks. I'm probably not going to say this very neatly or nicely. And please correct me if I'm wrong. But I also feel like if I see one more person ask if he's trying to start a civil war or say it's a distraction, I'm going to lose my fucking mind, because voting blue does not absolve us from like being racist or perpetuating it or making excuses for it, which allows them to fucking perpetuate it. So two things can be true. He can want distractions or a civil war, and he can be racist. It's not always some like master plan. He's just continuing to show us who he is and who he has always been. And I feel like we need to stop giving him the benefit of the doubt and like stop excusing his behavior and start calling it for exactly what it is, because two things can be true.
He's been racist long before this, Rosa, as you correctly pointed out. And you know, I go back to my point. We're way beyond racism now. We're way beyond that. We're literally into the grounds of having a constitutionally designated president of the United States who is not in charge of his mental facilities. He is not what can be called clinically sane. He's not. And it is self-evident.
Here's the reality of when we say any of the different things that we say, especially things like distractions or he's trying to do X, Y, and Z. These are things that need to be talked about. I think all of us here, at least, understand that we as a country were built upon and still are racist. If we ignore when those things are done, it leaves open the ability for people like that to keep saying things like that. If we keep talking, he wants to start a civil war. He's not. No offense. This man has no capability of thinking past what his name can be on. He's not trying to start anything. We need to talk about these things when it happens. We need to do what we can in the world that we have right now. You know what we don't have right now? We don't have civil war. So we need to use what we've got in the world that we have, with the laws that we have, to fight against what is going on and speak out when things like this happen. Nobody knows the future. Literally nobody. He can want it all he wants. If for some reason we find out he did, he can want it all he wants. It's still up to us as an American society to give it to him. So I'd rather spend my time calling out bullshit when it happens and actually trying to fix things. Because nothing is going to get fixed if we don't come to terms with the realities that are going on in America right now. If everything on either side, if we learn to excuse things that happen on either side, nothing will get fixed. Because you got people on one side that think that the world is going to be so much better if this happens, and the other side thinks that the world is going to be so much better when this happens. I'm here to tell you, nothing is going to get better until we all start being involved and having some hard-ass conversations that are going to hurt, that are going to be uncomfortable for every single one of us. That's just the reality of things. Does it suck? Of course it sucks.
It absolutely sucks, but here we are. You're quite right, Mike. Here we are. And one of the things that we can all do, besides the obvious vote in primaries, besides the obvious vote in special elections, is to give a goddamn call to your representatives in Washington, especially the Republican ones, and say something has to be done. For the sake of the country, ask them, use the exact phrase, please act as an American, not a Republican. Because in the final analysis, we can bitch, whine, and moan all we want on our side. But nothing will happen unless the Republicans themselves rid themselves of this plague.
Phoenix? No, there's a lot of people that disagree with me in this community. A lot. Often. But here is the truth. If you are not pissed and do not speak out as loudly as humanly possible when the President of the United States posts on social media two black people, one a former president and the wife of that former president, on a monkey's body, you don't get to have a voice in my community. Has nothing to do with disagreement. That is a line. That is a huge ass red line. I don't allow every position in my community, but I am more than welcome to have people that disagree with me. Because there's a lot of people that disagree with me all the time. This chat can tell you straight up, they have disagreed with me on lots of things all the time. There is no disagreeing with racism. There is no disagreeing with humanity. That does not exist. That is not acceptable. That is not allowed on this channel. You don't like it? You can go. Chaz, go watch my most recent video on my channel. I just don't want to say it out loud. Just talked about it enough.
Well said, Mike. And remember, what with the subtext of this entire conversation, you know, from everybody on panel and from yourself, it goes way beyond this. It goes way beyond it. We are in very troubled waters right now as a nation because, and I'm going to say it one more time, we have a president who is not clinically sane. It is obvious. The red flags have been flying since the day he took the oath of office. He is not clinically sane. I would argue the red flags were flying the day he tried to overthrow the government of the United States at the end of his first term, but we'll leave that alone just for the moment.
I think they existed before that when everyone found out that he had talked about using the military on protesters outside of the White House.
The list of horribles would make a book bigger than War and Peace.
You mean Art of the Deal?
The list of horribles with this man. I mean, my God, go back to the Central Park Five. I mean, you can go back to anything with this. This man's entire life story is a horror show.
And what this shows is that the idea that we have healed as a country from our past is a lie. We hid it really well, but it's still there, and it's still there strong. And again, it's one of the reasons that I have said multiple times that we need to redo our Constitution. Not because I'm not scared what could come of it, but this entire country was built on racism and misogyny. From the first document that was written, that's what it was built on. And if we truly want to start the process of healing and fixing that reality, we need to build a new document that is not based on that.
Agreed. And this goes back to Tiffany's point, the beginning of Tiffany's point, which I think hit home. There are a large number of people, I'm not saying all the people, there are a large number of people who voted for him. I didn't know I was voting for that. They knew exactly what they were voting for. They know exactly who he is, and this is who they wanted, which ties in with the point you just made. This is what they wanted. They knew it all along.
Yeah. This is who they are. I know there's every time that you or I or any of us that look like me are surprised when someone like anyone in this administration says what they said, don't discount the fact that you're surprised, because you can't ignore the fact that you are surprised. But understand that they were always like this. This is who they are. They may have hid it. Society may have hid this problem. But the reality is, this is the backbone of this country.
And to speak to the point that you're making, I was one of those people who were fooled on that night in 2008 when President Obama won. I thought we've crossed the threshold. We didn't. We didn't. We, in your words, we covered it up. We did a good job of hiding it. But we didn't cross any fucking threshold at all.
Agreed. We didn't.
Yeah, I was dead wrong. I was dead wrong.
I think for all of us who there was a lot of us who I think thought were hopeful. We thought that things had changed. And I think the past decade has been a really huge wake-up call that nope, it really hasn't. And we've got a whole ton more work to do. Whole lot more work to do. And it's not an exclusive problem to the United States. It is everywhere. It's fucking everywhere. Pardon my French. I can't help it. I'm running out of words because my emotions are just between anger and horror and wanting to give Kia a huge hug right now on so many things. I'm so all over the place. But we have so much more work to do. I don't even know where it begins, but I know that leaving behind those who we cannot change or help is the only way we can start moving forward. We need to just we deal with them after. That's an after fact. We need to start dealing with what we can change, what we can fix immediately.
How much worse will it get, Stormy? That is up to us. How much worse it will get. How much worse can it get? Unfortunately, it can get a lot worse. It can get so much worse.
It can get a whole lot worse, which is the point I've been trying to make, and everybody else too, not just me. The point I've been trying to make since the beginning. How bad can it get? We have a person who has shown on multiple occasions not to be in control of his mental faculties with the nuclear codes. So how bad can it get? Yeah, it can get that bad. It can get that bad. And does anybody even doubt that anymore? Aren't we past that? Canada, the 51st state, tariffs today, tariffs gone tomorrow, tariffs back the next day. Oh, we're going to conquer Greenland. Groveling up to Vladimir Putin and President Xi. Going into Venezuela, shooting up, pew-pewing up fishing boats. How many more red flags do we need? And now this. In addition to the whole first term thing about trying to overthrow the country. In addition to that, pardoning them. Sicking a bunch of jackbooted thugs on the American people in our streets. Let's not forget about that, too. Letting go 1,600 people who stormed our Capitol, and worse yet, calling them patriots. How many more red flags do we need, folks?
Kelly, what do you mean, which part better? Like, I want to answer the question you're actually asking. I think I know what you're asking, but I want to make sure that I know what you're asking. But
I had to
yes,
step away.
sorry.
Oh, sorry.
No, go.
I had to step away for a minute. And I've just been listening while doing some stuff. I had to, as I was starting to be overwhelmed to the point that I wasn't going to be able to communicate effectively.
Understandable.
Seeing the stupid shit in the chat, just
Mm-hmm.
I just had to kind of walk away for a minute. I think for a lot of people, Scott, they thought Obama being elected meant something more and beyond what it actually did. And I think I often have the question when people thought that, at what point did you guys realize after Obama was elected that things weren't actually better?
Pretty soon, when I saw the virulent reaction to the Affordable Care Act, it wasn't about the Affordable Care Act. That really wasn't about the Affordable Care Act. That was about the insult of having... Look, Donald Trump wouldn't have been possible if we hadn't had a black president. It enraged them. And believe me, I know. I was at my golf club. The words they called him, well, you can pretty much... Actually, you wouldn't be surprised at all.
I guess for me, Kia, and as obviously coming from Canada, I was like so stoked. I was super stoked that the election had gone the way that I had hoped it would. I realized it prior to the election. I was always aware of it because the commentary was always there online, and sadly not anybody who I choose to associate with, but people I've unfortunately people who I am friends or related to who work with them. Those people were enraged in Canada and all sorts of stuff, and obviously, anytime I hear stuff like that, those people get a wonderful Broadway musical from me. And I don't care if I embarrass them publicly. I don't care. You should be embarrassed. You should be ashamed of yourself. You're disgusting POS of a excuse for anything. I don't want to call them human because I don't view people like that as part of our humanity. That's not a thing. But I was always aware that it was still an undercurrent. I knew that it had not gone away. I think I had thought that it was less than it was. I think that's where my mind was. I thought that I knew there had always been a percentage of people who were vile, disgusting. I don't even have the words, and I'm guaranteed they're not going to be TikTok friendly. Anyways, you get my point. But I think with those elections, I had believed that it was less than. It had been going down. There was more growth in humanity. We were making improvements. We were making changes. There was like, I think that's where my mind went. It's not that I didn't know or I wasn't aware that there was still that group of people. I just think I had believed they were a lot smaller than they were. And this administration in 2016 to me proved that I was wrong in the size of the vile group of trash bags. And I've been fighting ever since.
Kia, you asked a question. When did we know? I'll give you the best answer possible. And boy, did I miss it. For a political junkie, I really missed it. I take you back to election night of 2008, okay? Taking you back to election night of 2008. The most gracious concession speech in American history was delivered by John McCain, where he talked about the importance of electing a black president. It was gracious, it was lovely, and the Republicans turned on him immediately. That should have been the first warning sign, and I missed it. John McCain immediately became persona non grata with a lot of the Republican Party for being gracious. That should have told me something. I blame myself for not spotting that immediately because I saw the fall of John McCain as a power center in the Republican Party. I saw that. I didn't equate the two. It happened immediately after that. That concession speech didn't inspire people in his party. It infuriated them. And that should have been a warning sign. I missed it.
When I look back, I obviously see a lot of the signs, but I'm obviously, well, not obviously, I am sad to admit that at the time, I did not realize it. It did not become apparent to me until this current president ran the first time. At least not to the level that it is. I always knew it was still there. I remember thinking how ridiculous it was that people were getting angry about things like the tan suit and all the other dumb things. But I don't think it ever truly hit home. Not to the level that it did at that, after that. I obviously, looking back, it's one of the things I regret the most. But one of the reasons that I do what I do.
Yeah, we missed a lot of the warning signs, Mike. Probably because of the color of our skin and our sex. We missed a lot of, we said, whoa, thank God this whole racism shit's over with. Now we can move forward. And we missed the signs. And like I said, in retrospect, the way they tore John McCain apart for his gracious I've never heard a concession speech like that. It was beautiful. It brought tears to your eyes listening to the way John McCain spoke that night. And it had to be a bitter night for him. Of course it was. He just lost the presidency, the job he wanted his whole life. And he didn't talk about himself. He talked about the importance of Obama being elected for all Americans, not just black Americans, all Americans, how important it was. And they turned on him savagely. That should have been a warning. The whole tan suit bullshit. And take a look at the midterms in 2010. That was their revenge. They would have crawled over broken glass to vote against the Democrats.
I think, and I think, and I appreciate, and y'all on the other side, I've been reading all your replies and your comments as well too. And I was just really curious, what you guys thought and how you guys all felt. And it is definitely the comments of coming from a YT perspective for sure. Because I noticed that no people of color said anything about, when did they realize it didn't change, because we knew it never did. I think they just started making stuff look. I say that often, and I think because I need people to realize that I truly think that because you're not seeing people being hosed down and attacked by dogs, and you're not seeing signs about what bathroom you can use or where you could sit, because you're not seeing this stuff like it was. You don't hear people out there walking around calling black folks the N-word, that you thought that it had gotten better. And they've just changed it. They've just changed the way it has. And now it's like, I appreciate the fact that when you guys do realize, you literally, when you wake up, when you become quote unquote woke and you really wake up and those blinders come off and you really start seeing the redlining, you start seeing how all of the gerrymandering, when you start seeing how all the voter suppression, and you really start actively awakening yourself to the idea that this is how it's been for an entire group of Americans, people who've been born here, just like y'all were. Oh, shit.
And keep your eye, Kia. Everybody talks about the gerrymandering today. Let me put everybody's mind at ease. I've looked into every single state. It's not going to make much of a difference in the midterms. It's not. Republicans maybe will steal 3 net seats, no more than 5 tops, or maybe 0. Texas really fucked up, and we'll see that on election night. But what did I say is the thing that we really have to keep an eye on, Kia, is that Supreme Court decision on Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. If they overthrow that, automatically gone now and gone forever are 12 Democratic seats, all held by black people in the South. Gone. Overnight. Gone. And that's going to make it hard to win the House. Now, they won't be able to effectuate it except for Louisiana in time for this election, but it'll definitely be there for 2028. Yet another reason to win.
Rosa, you wanted to say something?
Yeah. I don't know. This may be a little bit messy. And if I say it wrong, please correct me. I understand like this is not okay. And this is also my understanding of how a lot of things work. Even YT people have as fucked as it is, a hierarchy of YT men, then YT women, black men, and then black women. Until we have equity and equality for every person, racism will not go away. And just because, like I said earlier, just because we voted blue doesn't absolve us. Every YT person in here benefits from racism systemically. So, yes, Republicans are very overt and very out and waving banners with it. That does not absolve any of us. We are still benefiting from it. So to other ourselves from them saying, well, they're just racist, we're not, like, that in and of itself can be a type of supremacy. And we also need to be mindful of that, because YT women already, for lack of better words, tokenized when we got our right to vote and then left Black women in the dust. And that's not okay. And until we stop doing that and we stop fighting for it, it's not going to go away.
Well, you know, Rosa, you said that to correct you if you said anything wrong. I think that's one of the most eloquent things said today. Thank you. And you know,
Thank you, sir.
Kia, I don't know why I thought of this now. Rosa's point is we have to look at it broader than we've been looking at it, not issue by issue, but broader as a societal thing. And this gets me back, I don't know if you even remember this, a long, long time ago, maybe when I was first on here, we were talking about the Roe v. Wade issue. And you explained it in a way that said, no, Scott, it's broader than that. It has to literally do with all healthcare dealing with women. And you explained about doctors leaving, you know, their offices and leaving women without health care. It goes so much further than just the specific issue I was talking about. And I never got it. And of course you were right. I never got it until you brought it up. So sometimes when we look at things, today Trump did a racist act. It has broader implications. You know, broader implications, warning signs that we should have picked up a long time ago, warning signs that our friend Luis in chat today picked up when he went to Puerto Rico after the hurricane. He picked up on that right away and hated Trump ever since. You know, it's a broad systemic problem is what I'm saying. And it applies to a lot of issues. And sometimes, especially me as a lawyer, you know, you focus in, you get that narrow blinders on and you focus and you get the right answers for this one problem, but you miss the forest from the trees. And I think that's what Rosa so eloquently put and you so eloquently put about 2 years ago.
Skywalker, it is cringy. And all of us wish we could say whatever we wanted. But if you can't understand that this app, the AI moderation on this app will take down this live for using words like that, then you need to go find another live to be on. Where you can hang out for a couple minutes. Yeah, I guarantee they get a butt-ass ton of... I don't care what side of the aisle you're on.
It's not your platform.
Respect the boundaries that are set. You don't have to like them. It doesn't matter if you like them or not. Somebody else's boundaries are not for you to like or not.
I guarantee
he said what he said and leave it at that. Keep it moving.
I guarantee
said what I said.
those lives get tons of things from TikTok. Strikes from TikTok. Guaranteed. Violations. Thank you.
You know, I understand your frustration. Everybody here has heard me say how much I hate having to speak like a child sometimes. It's not Mike's fault, folks. This is the rules of TikTok. And secondly, even if it wasn't the rules of TikTok, it is Mike's live. So we have to respect what he wants. It's his live.
No, non-useful. Unfortunately, that word is not.
And by the way, I slip too. I slip all the time.
Mhm.
I'm 69 years old. I'm not used to this, to having to be so ineloquent that I have to use words like pew pew and unalived and all these nonsense things that this app makes you go through. It sucks. And by the way, you're right. I bring it up all the time to Kia and Mike. I hear this Luke guy. He says everything he wants to say. I never hear him. You know, I hear Hawk say everything he wants to say. He never minces words. He doesn't say Adolf. He uses the last name.
Mm-hmm. And you know what?
I don't know why they get away with it, but
they don't.
Okay.
Hawk's channel is his 7th channel.
Okay, there you go. There you go. And I don't know how Luke gets away with it, because
my guess is he doesn't either.
They also make this platform a lot of money, and I think that it helps it slide a little bit. I also think that lives are different than videos, but also I see that we're all upset. People are upset because we have to use YT, but if we could say that and had to say BLK, no one would bat an eye.
Yep. I just say people that look like me. It's not a big deal. Is it annoying? Of course it's annoying. There's a lot of annoying things that happen and that we wish didn't exist.
I just want to say that person exemplified kind of a lot of what we were talking about, because they don't understand and respect boundaries. They don't understand and respect consent. They don't understand and respect any of those things. They exemplified the problem. Funny enough that
Tiffany, I don't know if it goes quite that far. I think he's expressing the same frustrations that a lot of us feel on this app, but he just doesn't understand that there are rules. You know what? I don't understand the damn rules. I don't know enough about this thing, and I'm lucky that I have people around me to say, Scott, can't say that word. Oops, sorry.
I remember every time people have lost their life and people come in upset that we can't use the actual word as what happened to them. And I feel it deep down in my soul that I want to say exactly what happened and exactly what I think about what happened and exactly what I think about the people that did it. You want to be able to speak more open? And I'll say this again. If you're over here on TikTok and you want to be able to sit in a live and be a little more open with how we talk about things, then I need a lot more of you to come over to the tube and start watching there and support over there. Because the reason that I go live here is not just because it's an extra platform that I can reach people on. It's because it's my biggest platform. It's because it's the place where I get the ability to have these kind of conversations. You can say more over there. We can use the real words over there. But as long as this side is where I have a better chance of making enough money to pay my bills, then this is the side that I'm going to have to be at. So you want to help? Go over there. I go live every weekday at 9:30.
You're stealing my thunder.
Sorry.
By the way, on a, I know she didn't mean it humorously, but it is a bit of a humorous thing, and we could use a little bit. Heidi said this is the longest year ever already. Heidi, I think you speak for all of us when you said that. Everybody in chat, everybody on panel, and our host. This is the longest year, which was the second longest year was the year that just ended. That seemed like about 40 years. This one, I think, is going to seem like about 60 years.
And Kelly, I saw your text. I would love to talk with you sometime about it. I've never felt and experienced a time where where everything is going so slow and feels so far away, and yet at the same time it feels like it's been years, in like a week has been a year kind of a thing, at the exact same time. And for me, it's like, yes, every day something is about 10 other things that we need to talk about, and it makes the day seem forever. But then I've got all of these videos of people that are running for office, and we got primaries coming up now, and some primaries coming up way later, and we're trying to get people to get on so we can help them, but they're always busy and can't talk. Like, it's just trying to get things out for people to potentially win their primaries, because we've got Texas and North Carolina, whose primary is on the 3rd of March. Mississippi is, I think, the 13th of March. Or Missouri. Sorry, not Mississippi. Missouri is the 13th of March. And then there are some that are like September. It's wild to me that anyone would have their primaries on September, but
I feel like that scene from Titanic where she goes, "It's been 84 years." That's what I feel almost every day now.
And the paint was still fresh.
100%. I feel like that is literally every day I wake up. That's what I feel. It's been 84
Yeah,
years.
then she threw that diamond over the ship, that stupid $1 billion diamond, and you're throwing it in the ocean? If I was that granddaughter, I'd have thrown her right over with it.
Right? I was thinking, I'm like, but think of all the people you could sell if you auction, or to people that you could help if you sold that at an auction. Like, if your family doesn't need the money, you could have sold that diamond and given the money away and helped.
This is my granddaughter. She takes care of me. Well, you sure took care of her. She changed your diapers for 30 years, and you chucked that diamond over the goddamn ship. I was in the theater. I'm going to embarrass myself now. I saw that movie in the theater. She threw that diamond over. I said, "You bitch." I would have, if I'd have seen her throw that diamond over. You want Jack so bad? Here you go, Grandma. Boom. Go see Jack.
I was totally thinking the same thing. Like, I was just flabbergasted. I'm like, that thing is worth, I don't even know how much, but I'm like, if you don't need it or want the money, why are you not giving it to a charity or something to go help somebody else? Like,
Oh, screw that. Give it to me.
Away?
I want the diamond. I'd take it.
Me too. Like, what? I was like, it was the epitome of what privilege looks like. I don't care about anybody else except myself, and I don't need this millions upon millions of dollars. The ocean can have it. Like, oh my God. I feel that, Scott. I wish I probably would have thrown popcorn at the screen and been like, what the?
thank you, Patty.
Needless to say, everybody in the theater looked at me as if I was out of my fucking mind. Nope. I really did do that.
You weren't out of your mind. Like, I literally was, I'm like, why did she throw it away? If she didn't need the money, like, she could have sold it at auction and like donated all the money. Like, there's so many other things you could do with that to help the world, and instead you throw the freaking diamond into the ocean. What? Yeah.
But yeah, so I just want to make sure I say this once again. There's a lot of things that we can do to start. People always ask what I can do, what I can do, what I can do, what can I do, what can I do, what can I do. The reason that I'm doing what I'm doing and interviewing so many people, like I told people, I interviewed 17 people last week alone. The reason I'm doing that is because this is absolutely necessary. That if we want to fix these problems, we need people in office that want to fix the problems, don't want the status quo. The easiest thing that you can do, if you can do nothing else, is help those people get visibility and name recognition by watching the content that is made about them. That is the easiest thing you can do. Sharing it with people, commenting on it, liking it, watching the whole thing through. When I tell you how low the average duration on some of these videos watches is mind-bogglingly low. I mean, I appreciate the numbers. When I see that 100 people watched it, it's great. But then I see that the average view duration is like 7 minutes.
Well, I didn't know that, the news would hit today, but that's sort of like every day. So I'd like to talk about the very first person that had their primary that you have interviewed, and it was Anna.
Mhm.
And she didn't do that well. She got about 1% of the vote. And some people would call that losing. I say it's winning. She had the guts to throw her hat in the ring. She had the guts to say what she wanted to do. That is outstanding. And I was thinking this morning after I looked her up, because as I told you, I'm going to look up, I'm rooting for all the people that you interviewed. And I wrote down some names that Anna might be interested in. She might have heard of them too. Abraham Lincoln, FDR, Lyndon Baines Johnson, Richard Nixon, Ronald Reagan, George H.W. Bush, and Bill Clinton. Now, what do all those people have in common, Anna? They lost before they won too. Politics is a lot like life. It's not where you start, it's where you finish. So good for you, Anna. I'm proud of you, and I'm proud to be part of New Jersey with you.
And we're not going to get it all right this time. We just need to ask ourselves how important is getting past what is wrong in this country? How important is it to all of us? The reality is getting to that end game where this, where we can actually heal and fix the problems that we have is going to take time, money, whether making less or giving more. It's going to take being uncomfortable and being in frustrating positions and a whole lot more probably by the time it's all said and done. So again, I ask, what do you want? What do you want the end goal to be? Because we got where we were because people did not want to do that. If you listen to people, the ones that are against these changes that we're making are the ones that you see and realize are the ones that are going to be inconvenienced. They're worried more about the fact that they're going to make a little less money at the idea of others making a little bit more. Not just a lot more, just enough to survive. Like, we're not sitting here talking, everyone's going to be a billionaire. We're talking cost of living. So please help out. As I've said before, these videos are all coming out on the tube pretty much 4 days a week now because I have so many, plus some amazing other things. If you're not following Monday, I'm going to be posting an interview I did of a young woman who during her green card interview was detained. And you'll hear the story and you'll be shocked, somewhat disgusted. And then you'll need to remind yourself that she had it easy. She had as good of an experience of someone being detained as you will probably ever hear right now. And I want you to think about that when you listen to this video. And I want you to share this video. Because this is what they are experiencing. This is what human beings are experiencing. Yes, I want to do this. When will it be posted? Monday morning. I had, because she is still trying to get her green card, because she's still in this country, I needed to send it to her to make sure that have her and her lawyer watch over it and make sure that nothing she said could used against her ability to keep getting to get that green card in the end. So it's taken a little longer to get out because of that, but we want to do it right for her. So please, 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 like I said, I want to do this. I want to do this. I love doing this. The fact that I get to sit here and talk with you and these hard conversations, it sounds weird to say I love doing it, but I've realized more and more as I've gotten older that all of our lives can and will be better if we can learn to have these conversations. So any help you can give, whether on TikTok or on the tube, any support you can give, whether it's watching or financial, it means more than you possibly can know. I'm in awe at times at the amount of support you guys give. So, and there's going to be more things coming out. There's going to be more stuff happening. I'm not standing still. It's the same name. It's the same name, same image as right there. There's some pretty cool people that are looking at potentially coming and helping with some things past people like Rosa and Ash that are helping on the background. So there's a lot of cool things going on. So guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Everyone who came up on the panel, I appreciate you guys more than you possibly know for coming up and being so supportive.
Love you. I hope you have a good weekend, everybody. I'm getting ready to drop so I can get ready to go live in a few minutes.
Yep.
Take care, Kia. You have a wonderful weekend.
Thanks.
I'll see you
too.
right away, Kia.
In a little bit, Kia.
Hey, did Scott do the commercial or did I miss that?
I kind of did the commercial.
Yeah, Mike stole my thunder. I'm going to throw him over the thing with the diamond, too. He stole my thunder.
I'm sorry.
I hate it when he steals my thunder.
Yeah.
Mike, just in closing, folks, you've done a lot of lives. I don't think you've done a more impactful one than today. This is easily in the top 5 lives I've ever heard you do. This was impactful. And folks, if you take any lesson away from today, it's to know that this goes far beyond today's incident. This has to literally deal with the safety of our country. And when you talk with your friends, emphasize that. We're talking about something that is very dangerous and getting worse.
Yep. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the likes, the shares, and the gifts. Again, it means more than you possibly can know. We'll see you guys on Monday. I'm still trying to figure out the details, but if you want to be a part of it, I might be watching the Super Bowl via Discord. We can have a watch party. We're going to see about making that happen. So if that's something you're interested in, please join the Discord because, yeah, if you want to be a part of that, I'm still trying to figure out if that can happen and what us as a family are doing. If we're doing nothing, we'll definitely do that. But, yeah, you guys are amazing just the way you are. And I love y'all very much. Stay safe, stay healthy. Remember to sing, laugh, dance, smile, do something that makes you happy. Bye, guys. Bye, YouTube. Love you guys.